I am going to read chapter 12 in Friendship According to Humphrey. And the title of chapter 12 is called Party Hardy. Okay? And I have my friends with me, Penelope, Bentley, and Leo here. And they're going to listen to the story along with you. That week, there was plenty of chatter about Richie's upcoming birthday. All that excitement gave me a wiggle in my whiskers and a pounding in my heart. What was this big surprise Richie talked about all the time? On Friday, Miss Brisbane announced that Richie would be taking me home for the weekend. Yay! Humphrey's coming to the party too, AJ yelled. Overjoyed, I jumped on my wheel and spun as fast as I could. Boing! Og croaked. Oops! I realized that Og had not been invited to the party. What about Og? Asked Richie. Can he come too? Miss Brisbane shook her head. I think you have all that you can handle. Besides, I'm taking Og home with me. My husband is working on a surprise for him. Eek, I squeaked. It just slipped out. Mr. Brisbane, who I hadn't seen since Christmas, was working on a surprise for the frog. I could feel that green-eyed monster inside of me again. I was jealous of the large lump with a ghastly grin, and I wasn't proud of myself. Richie was hopping from one foot to another like a frog by the time his mom came to pick us up after school. We're going to party hardy, Humphrey, he shouted. Try to relax, Mr. Rinaldi told him as we got into the car. If we're going to have this party, you'll have to calm down. The Rinaldi house was in quite an uproar that night. First of all, there were so many aunts, uncles, grandmas, and grandpas there. I wasn't sure which was which. Everyone was hustling around, moving chairs, and putting up decorations in the basement or bustling around the kitchen, cooking. As busy as they were, they all managed to stop and say, "Hi, Humphrey," or "Isn't he cute?" Uncle Aldo and his wife Maria stopped by to help. When Aldo announced that he was starting college again, his relatives slapped him on the back and said, "Way to go." They were as happy about it as I was. On Saturday morning, there was even more commotion as the Ritchie family hurried up and down the stairs preparing for the party. Aldo and Maria came back to help. Early in the afternoon, Aldo put on a top hat and picked up my cage. "Okay, Hump, time for us to party on." He carried my cage downstairs to the basement. What a sight I saw there. The ceiling was covered with balloons of every color. Along the walls were brightly colored booths made out of big cardboard boxes. A circle of chairs surrounded a large platform. Happy circus music was playing, and I could smell popcorn and lemonade. Aldo set my cage on a big table and said, "Welcome to Richie Rinaldo's Crazy Carnival. Step right up, one and all." Soon my friends from room 26 made their way down the stairs. Gail and Heidi, not together of course, Kirk, Garth, Mandy, Saya, AJ, Art, and Seth and Tabitha. As soon as Saya saw Tabitha arrive, she hurried over to greet her. "Oh, I'm glad you came," she said. Then down the stairs came Marty. Marty! I blinked hard and I looked again. Sure enough, Martin Bean, the guy who's really mean, was right there in Richie's basement. "My mom made me invite him," I heard Richie tell Garth. "He's in my Sunday school class." "There's school on Sunday too?" Gee, you learn something new every day. All the kids put on brightly wrapped presents on the table. Most of them said hello to me. And then Aldo said, "Step right up and play the most amazing games on earth." Each of the booths along the wall featured a different activity. Richie's dad had a booth where the kids tossed rings at empty soda bottles. If 3 rings landed over the bottles, you got a pink ticket. Cousin Mark's booth featured a game where you threw a small basketball through a hoop. You got a pink ticket for each basket made. In Grandpa Rinaldi's booth, you had to knock a little bowling pins down with a ball. If you knocked them all down, you got a pink ticket. Closest to me was Maria's booth. She had a flowered scarf on her head and a big glass ball in front of her. "Come, hear Madame Maria tell your fortune," she called to the crowd. Madame Maria told Mandy that in the future she would eat much popcorn. I think she already had. Then Maria told Kirk that in the future he would have a lot of fun. Kirk always does. There was so much noise in Richie's basement, I was tempted to go to my sleeping house for some peace and quiet, but I didn't want to miss any of the fun. Then, I noticed someone not having any fun. Heidi Hopper was on her way to the basketball booth when Big Mean Bean stood in front of her, blocking her way. She moved to the right to go around him. Marty moved to the right and blocked her. "What's your hurry?" he asked in a nasty voice. Heidi moved to the left to go around him. Marty moved to the left and blocked her. "Say the magic word," said Marty. "Please," Heidi said in a soft voice. "Can't hear you." "Please," Heidi spoke much louder now. Marty sneered. "That's not the magic word. Guess again." Once more, Heidi tried to go around him, and he stopped her. She was almost in tears. This was unspeakable behavior. "Let her go," I yelled. Not that anyone could hear a small hamster over all the hubbub. Suddenly, Gail appeared out of nowhere. "Stop it, Marty," she said, and she pushed him out of the way. She grabbed Heidi's hand and pulled her towards the fortune-telling booth. "Come on, Heidi." Marty stood there with his mouth open wide. I could hardly believe what I had seen myself. First of all, I thought Gail was mad at Heidi. Second of all, no younger kid had ever dared to push Marty before, especially not a girl. Gail's a lot stronger than she looks. "Yoo-hoo, ladies, fortune's told. Let Madame Maria tell your future, what your future will bring." Heidi and Gail looked at one another. "Step this way," Maria called to them. The 2 girls scurried over to her booth and sat down as Maria stared into the glass ball. "You will be best friends forever," Maria predicted. Hooray! Heidi and Gail looked happy with their fortunes. As they walked away, I heard Gail say, "I'm sorry. I said you were a cheater. I was wrong." "I'm sorry I called you a crybaby," said Heidi. They didn't seem to know what else to say until Mandy raced up and asked if they had tried the ring toss yet. Then the 3 of them hurried off to the booth. Those good old friends, gold friends, Heidi and Gail were back at last. Meanwhile, Marty seemed puzzled by the whole incident. He stood motionless, watching the other partygoers pairing off and having fun. I guess Aldo was watching because he marched over to them and said, "If you need something to do, I could use some help passing out prizes." Marty didn't answer. "Or would you rather be with your friends?" You do have friends, don't you, Marty? Hi, Bentley. Join us. Here's Bentley. Marty stood like a statue, staring at Aldo. "You know, Marty, if you stop pushing everybody around, people might start liking you. So why don't you come over and do something like handing out prizes?" Aldo didn't wait for an answer. He put his hand on Marty's shoulder and marched him to the prize booth. Meanwhile, Richie and Seth cheered on Tabitha as she got 3 in a row. Smiley the bear was nowhere in sight. After Miranda and Saya each had earned a handful of pink tickets, they headed for the prize booth. But when they saw Marty there, they stopped in their tracks. "I'm not going over there if he's there," said Miranda. "He'll probably steal my tickets." AJ and Art were already at the prize booth, trying to choose from an assortment of little puzzles, paddles with balls attached, and funny cardboard glasses with eyeballs painted on them. Aldo and Marty stood behind the prize table. "Hurry up and take some," Marty said in a gruff voice. He tried to stuff the glasses in AJ's hand. "Move it along." Aldo nudged Marty. "Give them a chance to decide what they want, Marty," he suggested. "How about a train whistle?" he asked, holding up a big wooden whistle in the shape of a train. "Maybe," said AJ. "Paddleball is always good," said Art. "I'll take care of that." "Good choice," Marty mumbled. "You're welcome." It sounded strange to hear Mean Martin Green say those words. Kirk rushed to the prize booth with a handful of tickets. "Well, if it isn't Kirk Marty stopped himself before he finished. "Kirk, the baseball king," said Aldo. "Pick a prize." Kirk had enough tickets to get a flower with a bulb attached that could squirt water. "Good choice," said Marty. His voice sounded different. I guess he wasn't used to saying those nice things. At last, Saya and Miranda, who'd been watching Marty, finally came forward, clutching their prize tickets. "Ladies, come get your prizes," said Aldo. "Marty will help you. He likes to help, right, Marty?" "Here are some keychains," Marty told the girls as they nervously stepped forward. "Or maybe you'd like this tic-tac-toe game." Miranda and Saya were obviously surprised that Marty was acting like a human being is supposed to act, but they handed over their tickets. "Thanks, Marty," said Miranda, taking the keychain. Aldo grinned. So did Marty. Everyone was having such a good time. I was tempted to open the lock that doesn't lock and join the fun. While I was thinking it over, Aldo blew a whistle and asked everyone to come to the center ring for the big show. That's the end of part 1, and I will be back with part 2.